So welcome everybody. Sean Greeley here from MP, and I'm joined today by my good friend Billy Beck III. Billy has been a longtime client and friend of ours at MP. He's been incredibly successful with his own business, developing himself as a trainer to elite athletes, celebrities, and running a fantastic training facility in South Florida. I had the pleasure of heading down this past weekend. Myself and Ben Davis here, our UK director, I went down, spent some time with Billy. But I'll tell you, Billy is just a tremendous, not only is he excellent at his craft, at helping the best become better and really helping the masses, and a great speaker and communicator, but he's just a great human being. If you've been around the MP community for a little while, then you might have heard for our Pushes for Charity promotion, where we raised about $300,000 for the boot campaign and support veterans. Billy got a tremendous amount of publicity by doing an incredible feat of running 26 miles in combat boots from the ocean to his facility and doing 1,000 push-ups along the way. So he likes to do things in an extreme fashion to inspire people, to motivate, and you're going to hear a lot about that, and I think that's going to absolutely come through in what Billy has to share with you for today's presentation. So I also want to share with you that Billy has been signed on as one of our presenters and speakers now for Mega Training this year for Operation 333X. We've got just an unbelievable program, and it keeps getting better and better. There's nobody out there really doing it better right now in terms of running fitness seminars and how to do it right to give your business a tremendous boost that can essentially carry you for the year when you do it right. And you're going to hear about that today, about how Billy's done that and how he put 800 plus people in a room. Last year, actually, there was 2 events, and the 800 plus one was the second one. Now we've teamed up to really work with him in even a greater fashion to blow that up further for this January. And the goal is to put 2,000 people in a room for this event, and then go beyond that as well with some other things that are lining up. So just exciting things in the works, and you're going to hear a good bit about it today, and then more to come. Billy on stage at Mega Training in October. So without further ado, I'm going to hand this off to Billy and let you take it away, my friend.
Hey, Sean, thanks for the great introduction, brother. I'm really excited about this webinar. First of all, I've never given a webinar before. I've been on millions of them. And one thing I want to do is I don't want this to be like a typical webinar, because most webinars suck. They really do. Most people are doing other things while they're supposed to be watching webinars, so they don't get the most out of it. And, I know with MP, you guys have some really good webinars. One of the ones that really stood out was the one with Lee Burton with the FMS, and I really enjoyed that, and I passed along to my entire staff. But with today, I want to I'm not going to take a lot of time, but it's really require your attention, your focus, your concentration, because not only does this take me 6 years of trial and error and a lot of pain and a lot of pleasure, too, along the way, but I'm just giving you the information. I'm not giving you anything that's not important. And I combed through this with Sean to really make sure that we won't waste anyone's time. Because in life, you can get anything with money, but one thing you can't get is time. And it's the most valuable resource. And so I'm not going to let you down. I'm going to give you the best I got. And I'm not trying to sell you anything with this. I'm just saying, hey, this is what I've done. When I fell flat on my face, this is what I did. And whenever we kicked butt, this is what we did. And so let's just get into this. Let's see if I can get this slide to work here, first of all. There we go. So let's go real quick and just review what we're going to go through. The first thing is I break this down into 5 phases. And it starts about 12 weeks out from your event. And then it goes down it follows up even after the event, because you can give an event, but if you only follow through, it's going to be a big failure. The second thing is, and probably one of the most important, and I think this is what creates a lot of anxiety and fear, where people don't follow through on giving a presentation like this because they don't know what to say. But I'm going to teach you a really simple formula that you'll feel comfortable with, that's personalized for you, of really how I design my presentations, so that every time I rock the stage, it's really simple. It'll blow you away, really. And also how we build our list in the process of, in one of our events, we got over 1,000 names. I think it was more like over 1,200 names in just 2 hours. And we're actually on television and everything for it. But typically we'll get at least 300. So 1,000 may be like, whoa, that's crazy, but 300 is typical for us, and that's a lot, and a lot more. Now, here's some of the results that we've achieved here at BB3. First one is our first presentation this past year, we sold out at 300 people. The year before, we had 600 people, and it was just too much for us to handle because, as you'll see, we do more than just have people sit down. So we were a little short on staff, and so I wanted to make it great and exceptional at 300 rather than just pack people in a room of 600 people. I couldn't even see in the back. There were so many of them. And then a follow-up presentation that we did 2 weeks after our first presentation with over 800 people, and it was televised internationally. And then we got over 1,500 new subscribers to our list between those two events. We also got 38 new clients, and when I did the math, it was $101,688, and it's still counting because these people are still training with us. We have a really great team, so our retention is awesome. And we got dozens of impressive before and after pictures, which I'll show you some of those. And then PR, which really is priceless, because when someone sees you in a magazine or on television, you're automatically made the expert. You're the leader. So your competition, the gym down the street, the other trainers around, your neighborhood, the people that are out at the park doing the boot camp, whatever they are, whoever your competition is, someone else sees you on television, you're on the cover of a magazine, your articles of a magazine, they can't touch that. They can't compete with you. In fact, from our first presentation, this is the cover. This is the front page of the Sunday paper here in South Florida. It's the largest paper in Florida. It goes all the way from Palm Beach all the way down to the Florida Keys, including Miami and Fort Lauderdale. And that's my big head there, right next to a throwback version of the big three, LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. So I was actually on the paper with those guys. They probably don't know, but I was. And when you look inside, there's a little bit of positioning going on here. I made sure when the newspaper came, I was trained someone that they would know, and this is Marlins catcher John Buck. He's like the captain of the Florida Marlins, and he's a great guy, and he let me do it. And when you train a professional athlete, now someone says, "Oh, this guy speaks," but also, he's kind of a big deal. Trains pro athletes, and so if you got any client with any type of pull, whether it's a business owner that does a lot of advertising, or it's maybe a political figure on a small day, it could be a city commissioner, any of those people that are recognizable, it's good to get their picture along with you. And this is pretty cool. I was out in Denver, and when I was in Denver working with some NFL guys, I got this text from, this is Katina Taylor. She's the wife of one of my clients, NFL great Jason Taylor, former player of the Miami Dolphins. And she's awesome, obviously, because she helps promote me, because she's a friend of mine. But she sent me this text, and then she pasted on she put it on Facebook, and it went everywhere. So all these people saw me with Katina here saying that, I'm awesome. Whether it's true or not is a different story. Now, let's get into it. That's me bragging a little bit, I guess. So you will actually listen to this, because this has been proven. This isn't some guy, and this drives me crazy. I was at a seminar, and it was about how to be an expert and lead your field, and people were paying $3,000 to be at this thing, and the guy up there goes like this. And anyone that knows anything, especially you guys, for being on a webinar, you're going to just roll your eyes at it. He said, all you got to do is read 3 books in a chosen subject, and you are considered an expert. I don't think so. I completely disagree, and I told him I completely disagree. That's not mastery. That's dabbling. That's ripping people off. This has been proven. I've done it with my team 6 years now, and it's getting better and better, and teaming up with Sean and MP this year, it's going to be insane. But this is really what it comes down to. The first phase is your inner circle, and we'll go through each of these in more detail momentarily. The second phase is a community event. The third phase is the final push. And the fourth phase is showtime. That's the actual event. And the fifth phase is the kickoff event. There's a follow-up event to push someone from the seminar, the presentation, into some type of action that's going to allow them to get what they want. They went to the seminar for a reason. They didn't go there just to learn. They went there because they wanted to change their body. They wanted to change their life. And this kickoff event and program now allows them to follow through with the necessary support. But before you do anything, you get into step one, you start talking business, you've got to absolutely do this. The foundation is always creating massive value through a powerful presentation and a subsequent program that always delivers remarkable results. If your clients are not getting results, if you're not getting testimonials, I wouldn't even do this program. Honestly, you need to take 5 steps back, look at how you're training people, how your training staff is training people, and create a program that absolutely works. And you got time to do that now before January. And obviously, if you don't get results, it's going to be mediocre. Then you're going to blame me. You're going to be like, Billy Beck told me to do this and it didn't work. But it comes down to getting results first and foremost. So speaking of results, this is Susan Snyder. She's over 60 years old. She went to one of our events, and she's lost over 60 pounds of fat. She's still here training. This is Adam Meyer, one of my longtime clients. He actually won one of our challenges after one of the, I think it was our second event. This is Sharon. She went from over 30% body fat down to 17% body fat. And Joe, well, completely transformed his body. Looked like a average guy. Now he looks like he could be in a magazine. This is Susie Bell. She's maybe the busiest person in the world. She has 2 kids. She's a super mom, a super wife. She cooks the food, packs everything for everyone. And she runs her own business on top of that. And she gets in here for workouts at least 3 times a week. This is Anthony, and his stats are right up here. His are pretty amazing. He went from 235 pounds down to 168 pounds, 29% body fat, down to 9% body fat. And the cool thing with this is a lot of these pictures are not my clients. They are the Team BB3, our training staff. We have a really amazing team that gets results just as well as I do. And I'm really proud of that fact. And they really helped with this 5-phase strategy that we're going to talk about in more detail now. Now, the 3 steps to craft your message. Earlier, I talked about this. Most people avoid the whole presentation, and I started with Gold Rush, the MPE product, and we started to evolve from there. And one of the things is you've got to have something you're really comfortable talking with, that you're really confident with. And the way I develop it is every year I change my presentation. And I always choose something I'm very passionate about. Like this past year, I was really passionate about, what was the big thing that was challenging my clients and myself, and it was stress. And I really started to study stress, and I read many books about it. I looked at all the research. I looked at blood chemistry labs. And then I realized that I need to look at saliva. And then I started calling people that were writing these books. And I asked them, what's the deal with this? How do we do this? And I started meeting with them. And I'm that guy. I'll come knock on the door. I will annoy someone until I get the answer. And you don't have to go that far. The information, I could probably Google it, but I just wanted to get it directly from the person. But you got to choose something you're passionate about. So right now, just ask yourselves, what are you most passionate about? Is it nutrition? Is it a specific type of training, like kettlebell training? And what does your clients really want? Like stress for my clients is huge. And I really learned this from talking to them each and every day. Then you want to immerse yourself in the subject, like I just said. And you want to create your formula for success. And I put that in parentheses because don't copy someone else's stuff and steal it. It drives me crazy, for one, and everyone knows you stole it. Come in and create something original. If you're going to take an hour or 2 hours of someone's life, make sure you bring it. You put in the time. Like now is the time to start thinking about this. By September, you should have an outline for it. October, your PowerPoint should be completed. And November, you're practicing. December, you're practicing. January, you just don't know it. You own it. And people know that. And that's one of the big reasons people rock the stage. So how do you create your formula for success? To get more specific on those 3 steps, we want to identify the myth, the lie, or problem. And the one I kind of went after was a bunch of them. And one was no pain, no gain. There's this new school of thought that if we train until we puke, that is the best way to train all the time. If we train until we are incapacitated and we cannot have a normal life the rest of our day, that's the best way to get results. And I came in and I explained stress. Stress will destroy your ability to get results because there's physical stressors like working out or an illness or an injury. those have the same effect physiologically in the body as a workout. Starving someone is a nutritional stressor. So most people go on diet and they're not eating enough. Now, most people think they have to eat less. And so I went and I addressed that. And it really hit home. And you'll see a little bit more, but you want to identify that myth, lie, or problem. What do most people believe is true, but it's actually not? And when you do this on stage, it's much more impactful than you do it one-on-one with the client. You want to explain why it is the obstacle. Most people, and especially trainers, are guilty of this. They just tell people what to do. They bark at them. They're like a drill sergeant, like, do this, do this, do this. Why? Because I said so. And that's not how you influence someone. That's not how you inspire someone. That may be motivation. And the difference between motivation and inspiration, especially on the stage, motivation is like dousing someone with gasoline and lighting them on fire. Yeah, they'll take action. They'll move a lot. But as soon as that fire's out, they're going to lay down for a while. They're not going to do anything. So they're not going to follow the instruction. It's not going to be sustainable. Inspiration is more where the person themselves realize that you guided them to a point with information and questions and maybe some visuals and some exercises that they do. And they realize, wow, this is how you do it. That's the mistake I was making, and this is the path to results. Then, like I just said this, but using your stories, using visuals, using exercise. When I say exercise, I don't mean you're going to have them do push-ups and things. You could, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about some type of movement where they're moving their body and you're getting them to understand something. Then you're going to guide them to the next logical step in the process. And this is where you're going to do this. And I'm going to give you a little bonus here because this was unplanned. There's a point after you give the solution, you give your presentation, where they can either go one direction or they can go the other direction. One direction leads to where they're at now, and they'll continue to, you're either getting better or worse, and that direction is going to give them maybe not the next day, but over a period of time, they're going to be in a far worse place. Your job is to get them to take the right step. And that's the step with you and your program, whatever that may be. And it's real simple. You just got to ask them, just like I do it humbly, because I know that I can't just, I'll say, I wish I could honestly speak to you and just have you sit there and I could talk to you, and then you walk out of this room and be in the best shape of your life and achieve your wildest dreams and live a life of greatness. However, I know that's not true. I know that you need more. And so I prepared something special for you. Me and the BBC training team have designed the 9-week rapid fire challenge. And then I'll go into that, and then I'll have them pass out some cards and they can sign in and say, yeah, I want to do it. And they're qualifying themselves. They're saying, yeah, I'm raising my hand. I want to take part in that. I know there's more to it. And almost every single person does it. It's that simple. Now, this is a great story because I got an audio tape, and I'm not that old. I'm 35. And but I started listening to audio tapes when I was like 12. And when I was 21 and a personal trainer, I lived on top of a garage because I spent over 65% of my income, I think it was exactly 65% of my income, my accountant told me at the time, on continuing education. And there was no heat on the bottom where the garage was, so in the winter, I lived in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the pipes would freeze. And so I couldn't shower there, so I'd have to go to work early, like at 4:30 in the morning, shower, and then train people. And I remember listening to this audio tape, and I don't remember who it was. It wasn't anyone famous or anything, but it was called Presentation, How to Give a Perfect Presentation Every Time. And the key to a powerful presentation is, and literally this was the audio tape. I paid $9.99 for this thing, and I was kind of mad at first, but now that it stuck with me this long, it's totally true. I broke this rule once, and literally the entire tape was this. Over and over, the guy was a live recording, and he would say this, and everyone repeated after him. And they weren't that enthusiastic, so you're like, really? But it ingrained in my mind this one phrase. The key to a powerful presentation is preparation and practice. And what's ironic is my very next seminar was my first seminar. I had 78 people in the aerobics room. I was 21 years old, and I'm like, I'm ready. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I didn't prepare enough. I didn't practice enough. And I pretty much broke every rule. And I must have said the word okay 150 times. It was the single most embarrassing presentation I ever gave in my life. And I learned so much from it just because of the pain of having those people. I knew I was just sucking the life out of them. So ever since then, I prepare and practice like a Navy SEAL. It's ridiculous. It may be too much, but it doesn't happen anymore. So how do we fill the room? Okay, so here's a personal fear of mine. I don't have many. I'm pretty intense. But one thing I always think is that no one's going to show up. It makes no sense logically, but I'm like, what if no one shows up? And people always show up, obviously, but because we have a plan. But how do we fill the room? Let's go through these steps. Phase one is that inner circle. Here's a picture of me with me and our team and a bunch of our clients, too, when we did an event. And here are the key actions in this first phase. And this is coming 12 weeks out from the event. So this is like the end of October for us. First thing we do is we set a goal for the event. So last year, the year before was 600, last year was 300. And then we secure our location and choose the date. Then we create and print flyers and posters. Now, we post all these immediately. And what we do for our clients, since we're trying to get at least 100 people within those first couple of weeks, and we give them a discounted price. So it may be $10. And what we're trying to do is cover our costs for our materials and for the room. And then the other people after that have a different price. So now our clients feel special. They deserve it. And we're not making much money off it, but we're serving them. And it's more of a retention thing for us. So to define the inner circle, these are your raving fans. These are your clients that got results. And I think if you just sat down, like real quick, just jot down 5 people that are raving fans. If you don't have 5, you probably should go back and do something else. Vendors are great. We have a supplement line, and we had the manufacturers come in, and they brought in their president, the regional directors, all these people to our event, and they loved it. As a result, I'm pretty sure they cut us some slack on our pricing, and we saved some money. But they rave about us too when they go to everyone else, and they ask us to do things. So when we do some of the events with races, we get invited back for free. We only have to pay for sponsorship most of the time. Strategic alliances, so we will team up. And Gold Rush, the MP product Gold Rush, is really where we got this idea. And we teamed up with a chiropractor. At one point, we teamed up with a salon. We teamed up with about everyone at some point. And we even had a local diner where we made their menu. So we have the BB3 Lean and Mean menu. You can actually order something called the BB3, which is an egg white omelet over there. It's the coolest thing because I walk in and I'm like, I have a BB3. And they're like, all right, BB3, because that's what they call them. It's the best thing ever. You can do that too. You can name food after yourself. Totally awesome. Friends and family. What's going to help alleviate anxiety and fear and get you creating momentum and confidence is getting people on that list, getting people signed up. And it's that simple. You can literally get 50 to 100 people like this in 1 to 2 weeks. We've done it. You can certainly do it too. Now, phase 2, and this occurs about 4 to 6 weeks, even sometimes sooner, anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks before the actual event. Ours is almost always 4 weeks, but I think anywhere from 2 to 6 weeks will work. And this is a picture of a local 5K and half marathon that we sponsor, and this is in Weston Town Center. Weston is the town that we market to, that we serve, and right to the left of this picture is a Starbucks, and that is the center of Weston Town Center. So whether you're partaking in this event or not, there's a lot of traffic here anyway. And what we do is we block off an entire street, and we don't do anything small. And I'm going to tell you about that in one moment. So 2 to 4 weeks, community event. And it could be a bunch of things. It could be a 5K. It could be a mud run. We do a lot of these now, a lot of obstacle races. We created our own, and we're doing one later September 1st. Church events, huge. You have like-minded people that all want to improve their lives. So they have good values, and they will take action. School events. Schools are always looking for something that brings value to them, and there's tons of parents involved with that. Every kid has a parent that's in these schools, almost every kid. So the next step is dominate the show. So whatever event you choose, dominate. And this is really what allowed us. We're located in a warehouse. And what we did, I was like, man, no one knows where we're at. And we're in a pretty affluent area. So for people to drive in a warehouse and train, you've got to change our mindset a little bit by, changing your position. But we went and we were the title sponsor for a race the first few years. So we dished out some cash. But when we did this in the middle of a football field. And you'll see, like in that last picture, is that we had a big tent. We have a whole staff with our shirts on. We're going around, signing people up for a raffle. So we're getting their contact information, getting permission to follow up with them. And then we're doing a Superman, Superwoman challenge, a mini version. It takes like 30 to 60 seconds for most people, where they'll push my Jeep. And I'll be in there honking the horn or whatever. Our staff's with a megaphone yelling. When we have a we go all out. Everyone else, you know what they're doing? They're handing out pins and keychains. Now, who in their right mind is going to build their business giving away pins and keychains? We're connecting people. We're luring them in. We're saying, hey, you want to win $100 in our raffle? You want to win $1,000 worth of personal training? We literally give that stuff away. And we get over 300 leads. I think last year was 358. That's exactly how much it is, like I'm guessing. The year before was 338, and the year before that was 334. And this is just within a few hours on a Sunday morning. But you can't just stand there with your hands in your pockets. You've got to be bold. You've got to get out there. Now, the goal is always to capture leads when you're at these events. But a few years ago, 2 years ago, we started signing people up for the event. So we put a poster for our event there, and then we have a contest. So we see who can sell the most. Who can get the most people into an event that's going to change their life. Now, once we have all those contacts, we follow up with them, and that's what we call the final push. And this is anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. I really make it 4 weeks because I just want to get it done. I want to fill the room. This is what we're going to do. So the first thing is we're going to follow up on those leads from that community event. We're also going to, hopefully you have a list, and if you have a list, you can continue to push that, because a lot of people will wait till the last minute to sign up for these things. That's why having a lower price and a gradually increasing price really works, because there's that, like, oh man, I'm going to miss out. I'm going to have to pay more if I don't take action now. And then we call them. But we also follow up with a series of emails, at least one email every week for those 4 weeks. And then we make them an offer to come in too, because if we can get them into the facility, we know they're going to show up for the event. So we want to, if we have 4 weeks, so what we do is we do the raffle, and I'm a nice guy, so I don't like to tell people they lost. So we give away big prizes, then we give away a ton of small prizes. So it may be a consultation even, which is something we give away most of the time. But we call them, and they are the happiest people in the world. My staff loves to make these calls, because you really call these people. It's like, hey, John, you called. I met you the other day at the BB3 run, and you entered our raffle. I just wanted to let you know that you won. I'm like, oh my God, I won. They get so excited. It's great. Like, I never won anything. They don't even care what it is. They're like, this is what it is. It's a gift certificate for 1 free consultation. You can either use it for yourself, or you can give it away as a gift, because also this is during the holidays. And then what we do is they have to come in and pick it up. So we give them a tour, show them around the place, and we start to further this relationship, get them to feel comfortable so they're not so intimidated with this. And one of the big things is every team member has a personal goal. Maybe you don't have a team, but you got to make a goal for yourself. If you have 2 trainers, have them make a goal. Maybe it's sign up 15 people each, and then whoever gets the most people into the life-changing seminar, that they get a little prize of some sort. But always reward your staff. I mean, your team is what makes or breaks you, really. You've got to have a great team. You've got to treat them well, and you've got to give them incentives. Hold each person accountable. Now, you've got to treat your team good, but here's the big thing. You can be too generous, and then they get lazy and they start to feel entitled. So human nature is to, basically it's kind of like diffusion. It goes to a point of whatever they're comfortable, where they're comfortable level with, they will sink to it. It is your job as a leader to bring out the best in your team and to bring out the best in your clients. So you must challenge them. And so if they say they're going to do something, you must hold them to it and teach people that their word is all they've got. Integrity is their greatest asset. And as a business, it's your greatest resource, because no one can compete when you have integrity. And then the last thing here is be relentless. When I say relentless is it's never acceptable to not achieve the goal. You might want to write that down. It is never acceptable to not achieve the goal. Because I don't know how many times in my life where someone just said, oh, well, maybe next time. It's like, no, this is next time. Next time you're going to do worse because you lowered your standards. You never lower your standards. You always go until you achieve the goal. When we did push-ups for charity, I did that run and I almost killed myself. And because I ran 51 miles just a few weeks before that, and I couldn't walk for 4 days, and so I ran again. And we didn't do a good job. It was the first time we did it, and we didn't achieve our goal. We wanted to do $10,000 as the minimum, and that day we only brought in like $1,500. So we had to hustle, and we found a way. We did classes, we did things, but we did not give up. And I guarantee next time we'll do even better. But it's all that attitude. And this is the one thing, if you have this, you will kill this whole strategy. It's 5 phases, you'll own it, you'll go on stage and you'll rock it. Now, when it's showtime, you failing to plan means planning to fail. You've got to have a plan, and it comes down to these key actions. 1, everyone on your team has a responsibility. There's someone checking in. There's someone that's helping with props. There's someone that's helping with the PowerPoint. There's someone that is dealing with the music if you're using music, and I highly recommend that you do. I'll talk more about those specifics of the actual presentation with those other key elements at mega training. Then you got to rehearse. And I already told you that, 3 months out, you need to be practicing if it's your first one. At this point in my career, I still do it. Make courtesy phone calls to attendees and upsell them on a friend. So this is what this is. People will not show up to an event, and I learned this by calling people that didn't show up. And the reason for it is a lot of times they just weren't sure. Like they didn't know what to wear. They didn't know where to park. They weren't real sure where the event was. And just making a courtesy phone call to these people a day in advance and confirming that they're going to be there and calling with some excitement and then sending them an email along with this, it's perfect. Because maybe you don't get them on the phone, but you leave a message. And you say, hey, we're so excited to have you there. And man, this really changes people's lives. And it's going to be the best thing you ever did all year. It's the best way to start, 2013 out. And then you send an email with all the details, directions, parking, what do you wear? What do you need to do? That's it. And then just, tell them to arrive at a certain time. And they feel really comfortable with it. And that has really helped. And then for you, if you're the presenter, whoever the presenter is, or if you're in charge of making sure everyone's in the right place, just relax. Bring the thunder. If you're uptight, people are going to feel it. The crowd's going to feel it. You just got to be in your place. And that rehearsing is what gets you there. And then at the presentation, this is a big mistake I think people make. And originally, I had the same problem. I was like, I just want to help people. I don't want to sell them. And Sean's probably like, he's probably rolling his eyes right now. But I just want to get him into something. And this is really where we went from good to really making a huge impact. And during the presentation, you got to make some offer, that next step. You got to direct them to something, whether it's a 21-day program or a 9-week program like we did last year. In the past, we did 12-week programs. We've had the most success with the 9-week program at this point. Now, after the event, this past year, I couldn't sign people up for anything. So what I did was I had them, the reason was because the Sun Sentinel was going there, and if it was just a sales pitch, that's what they said, we couldn't do it. We were raising money for the American Cancer Society for the Relay for Life. So I couldn't say, okay, if you sign up for our program for $199 for this many sessions, I couldn't do that there. But what I could do was I could direct them to something. And the next step was, hey, we're doing this 9-week challenge. What we're going to do, whether you do it or not, I got 9 weeks of meal plans. And we're going to, if you fill out the card and pass it to the end of the row, we'll make sure we get those to you. But before that, we really need you to take another step. Because if you just sit here tonight, what's the likelihood you're going to walk out and just get results? Let's be honest, I'm not that good of a presenter. And then they all laugh because I'm funny. And then we tell them about this kickoff event, which the seminar was at Thursday night. And then we'll call them the next day to confirm them. And then on Saturday morning, we have this kickoff event. And we'll go into more details on that right now. If you notice in the pictures, I always have everyone put their hands in and yell something. And that is only because I think it's cool. Now, the first step is call and email and invite everyone who attended the seminar. Also, don't forget about the people that didn't make it. You want to invite them too, because a lot of these people still want to take part in this program. It's New Year's. They want to change their bodies. And even if they're in great shape, they still want to improve. Who doesn't? Make it memorable. Now, a lot of people do these lame events where it's just a sales tour and they have some bagels and cream cheese. And I'm saying this from experience from going to other gyms. And I'm like, what is this? Now, what we do is we kind of make a big deal. We've had clowns here. We have bounce house. We have dunk tank. And they're only a couple $100 you can get that stuff. We'll team up with one of our strategic alliances, and they'll bring healthy food. A lot of times it doesn't cost us any money. And then we'll do special classes only that day. And sometimes we'll do special classes and then sell a fully program here. But what you want to do is you just want to do something where the rest of the weekend, people are talking about that. And you can use a lot of different methodologies. Like for us, Facebook is really big. Twitter somehow for us is really big. I'm not really sure how it works, but I do pretty good with it. The other thing is you want to offer a special one-day only price for the program. The program is whatever you create. It could be that 3-week program. It could be the 9-week program, whatever you decide. Now, the thing is, you really got to stick to this. It's only on that day. Now, if someone says they can't make it, they can call in and sign up for it. But they cannot do it on Friday. They cannot do it on Sunday. They cannot do it on Monday. It's only that day. And whenever you start to, I believe that if you say that, you cannot change it. Because when you do, everyone knows the next time you say that, it doesn't really mean anything. But this gets people to show up. And it's going to be an awesome event. So you want them there. And they're going to want to be there. The other thing is we have our own supplement. We sell other supplements here too that aren't available at other places. And so on that day, we have a discount on supplements. We usually package them up based off of a certain protocol, whether it's a fat burning protocol, a female protocol, male protocol, hypertrophy, whatever it is. We'll package that up. And on that day only, they can get that discount. And we don't discount things. I think it's only 3 times a year at this point. I think one year we did 4 times. And then you want to raffle off a big prize. Now, the big prize may be a cruise, and maybe a cruise is ridiculously cheap. You just call up a travel agency or ask your clients where they work. Do they work at a hotel? Like we have one of our trainers, her fiance works at a resort here in South Florida, and so we got gift certificates from that, absolutely free. And people love, a weekend vacation. Could be gift certificates from some of your strategic alliances. Could be all kinds of things. Just be creative with it and make it kind of a big deal. One of our biggest, by the way, was a Google TV. I had no idea what a Google TV was, but we set that thing out in the gym, and everyone wanted to say, like, how can I get involved with the raffle? And it was a huge response. Then you want to have the official launch of the program, your program, on the following Monday. And we'll extend it. We give them a whole week to get assessed and measured. And so they can they have like a 7-day time period where they can get started. Now that we went through the 5 phases, let's just talk a little bit more. And this is going to be fairly fast and furious. How can you walk the stage every time? And these are the core principles. And you really just got to put some thought into what you're comfortable with. But, if you can do it like Richard Simmons, and your little thing is little shorts and tank tops and hairy armpits, go for it. More power to you. There's a market for it, obviously. It's just not my thing. Preparation and practice conquers fear and creates confidence. I've said this so many times that if you mess this one up, I think I'm going to be really disappointed in you. This picture was taken by the Sun Sentinel. When you open the Sun Sentinel to the section, was on the front page, and it took up like a third of the page. So it's, really for positioning, makes a big difference. But you can see in my crazy face that I'm prepared, I know what I'm talking about, and I've practiced. This wasn't something I made up on the go. I wasn't scared that I was going to mess up. I just did it. And only because, I'm just like anyone else, but I practice. Engage the crowd to keep them present and entertain. Now, this is important. Now, I will study anyone and anything. I really don't have much of an ego when it comes to, so-and-so is better than this. I don't really compare myself to people, but if someone's great at something, I will study them and I will make it my own. And then I'll make it even better. It's just how I operate. And I remember going to an event, and there was a really great speaker, and then a guest speaker was Tony Robbins. And I always listened to his stuff. I never seen him live. I just figured, hey, I got his stuff. I'm good. I don't need to go to a seminar to do it. And he came out and he owned the room like I've never seen anyone in my life. And I've seen a lot of people. And I mean like world leaders. And I was like, all right, I'm going to a seminar. I went to a seminar. I walked on fire about 5 times and studied it. And then I said, okay, I'm going to go again. And I went again. I walked on fire. Then I said, okay, I'm going to crew. I'm going to volunteer. And I worked for them for free. I hired a coach from them to teach me all the stuff that they could possibly teach me. I made the fire in Chicago, Illinois in freezing rain. I learned all kinds of stuff and how everything works behind the scenes. I did it again. And now my coach from Tony Robbins is a client of mine. And he works here. He's actually getting really ripped right now. But one of the things is you must engage the crowd. There's a couple of them, and in Mega Train, I'll go and use much more. It's going to be much more powerful because I'll do it with you. You won't even know I'm doing it. I'll be like Chris Angel. You have no idea what I'm doing to you. I'm just kidding. But I am going to do it to you. When you engage the crowd, you can do it with questions, and that's a good one. So if you see in this picture, by the way, my hand's in an awkward position. I was not holding it like that. I was in transition. It's just bad timing. And I'm here. This is with over 800 people. And I'm having everyone snap their fingers. And it actually led, I said, everyone do this, snap your fingers. And then I said, in the time it takes you to snap your fingers, 7 billion liver cells died. And then I said, your heart was beating. I go through all these stats. And then like that. And then throughout the event, I'm having them snap their fingers. And every time I lift my hand up and snap my fingers by the end of an hour, everyone does it without me saying anything. And all you hear is all these little snaps. And what it is that's my test. Like, are you paying attention? And we're creating these little signals where I'm getting feedback back and forth where I'm not saying, hey, you guys, is this cool? Do you like this? And then when I know they're doing that, it's cool. The other thing is eye contact. Sometimes you just got to look people in the eyes. And a big problem, a big mistake people make is that they stare straight out over the tops of everyone's head. Just look at people. Man, you'll get someone's attention. And just give them a little nod. And that's the confidence. And people are like, whoa, this person commands the stage. You can do this. But again, it takes practice. Visuals, get attention and create buzz. Now, all this stuff at my feet here were based off of something else I was talking about. But basically, the average American consumes 168 pounds of sugar and 92 pounds of bread every year and 2 cakes. It's actually 4 pounds of cake. And that was a stat I found. And I had my staff, music was playing, and it was really cool. And they all came up and they just started dumping all this stuff on the stage, more and more and more. And people were like, what is this? And then I explained right before this, I explained blood sugar balance and how this impacts the body. And then this was an eye-opening experience. And then finally, you want to over-deliver. To be memorable and impactful. So we have people break boards. This year we're upping our game to a ridiculous level. So I can't share that with you yet, but I will at some point, maybe at Mega Training, maybe just randomly. I have no idea. But we have people break boards, but we do a goal-setting process. And this is kind of something I learned from Tony Robbins, but then I changed it for fitness. But then I made it better because I went back and I said, our success rate wasn't 100%. How can we get there? And some people say that's not realistic, but being realistic is I think that's a mindset for losers. You always improve no matter what. You never lower your standard. Just because someone says, well, 100% is realistic, well, that's probably because they have low standards. You are on a webinar on a Wednesday afternoon, so obviously you're my type of person. You're a big nerd like me, and you love this stuff, and I have a strong feeling you'll follow through. So that is really what it takes. That's 6 years right there of strategy, of how to fill the room and how to rock the stage. So, Sean, I think I'm going to hand this back over to you. Can you grab that?
Great, thank you, Billy. Yep. Let me just take the reins here. And hey, I hope you all enjoyed Billy's presentation. Billy is one heck of a presenter, and what I'm really excited is for you guys to see him in person, and to see really the experience that when you pull it all together, when you do all the things that Billy's talked about, presenting on stage and practicing and engaging the crowd, adding visuals, over-deliver. It's incredibly powerful. Those experiences, those of you who've been involved in our community, have come to a live event, know that it's the live events where the magic happens. And the more that you train and practice and execute the strategies to get people in a room and then to engage them in that way, it's truly life-changing. I mean, there's nothing more impactful than that FaceTime that you have with someone that then changes their life. So I'm really excited to have just to really be working with Billy, to have him involved as one of our speakers at Mega Training, and to share with you at Mega Training some of the tremendous things that we've been putting together with him the past few months and that are coming over the next few months for really doing events, local events and local event marketing better than we've ever been able to help people execute before. So I'm going to take this back and just kind of share with you a couple things to wrap up our presentation today. Here we go. You can see that now. Perfect. Okay, so just a few words about Mega Training. It's obviously, we're calling it Operation 330 3X, and the goal of that is 3 days. You're going to get 30 mega strategies to 3X, which means triple your income influence. And when you look at, you run the numbers on adding, 100 people in a room versus 200-300 people in a room, or even further when you execute the strategy, it really is, game changing in terms of your revenue for your business. When you have that amount of prospects in front of you, the numbers change the game. So when you register for Mega Training now at megatraining2012.com or by calling our offices at 888-866-4998, we have a last set of event discounts that expire on Monday, August 6th. So go ahead and get registered now, either online or by calling the office. And we're going to share with you the biggest bonus offer in MP history. We just announced this a few weeks ago. We're sharing bonus number one is a copy of our Cash Flow Infusion program. It sells for $7.95 just for enlisting for Mega Training. You're going to get it free. It's a product we released last December. We had a tremendous results with the group that we took through the program, executing 4 strategies to get more cash flow, more net profits in your business now. The program was slated for relaunch this month, August. Just with all the stuff that we get going on here with the events and with some UK expansion and new team members being hired, we can't possibly fit in the launch. So rather than wait till next December to do it again, I decided to just give it away as a bonus when you register now. So this is a product that is worth the value of a ticket for Mega Training. You're going to get it free, along with one of our top producing marketing promotions called the 21-day promotion. This is complete battle plan that includes landing page copy, emails, designs, media posts, everything ready to go for you to literally just roll out and bring immediate income in your business. And if you've watched any of the videos we have online, or if you haven't, check it out, the Lori Harris story that we just published yesterday, you'll hear about how this strategy was shared with Lori Harris at our last Mega Training event, went home, just did it really simply on Facebook with a couple posts, and had $3,000 revenue in within 2 days. So incredibly powerful when you execute this stuff and when you use it. And we're going to walk you through actually how to use it during our virtual boot camp we're running in August and September. So rather than just give you these bonuses and say, good luck, go use them, my team of coaches and I here, we've got unbelievable coaching staff from Tom Jacobs, Alan Linville, Ben Davis. We'll be running online live training to walk you through exactly how to use the system, how to roll out the marketing campaign, and how to do all the strategies in Cash Flow Infusion, again, to generate immediate net profits and more margin cash flow for you in August and September. So by the time you get to October and you get to Mega Training, you're already way ahead of the game and you're ready and trained up for the operation, which is really about teaching you all the skills and systems you need to create your own economy. And I'll tell you, now is the time when you invest. There's no better time to invest in yourself than now, especially when folks are, they're backing off or they're shy because of their own fears about the economy and about marketing. But if you engage now and follow through, this is when you can literally take over, because while the other competitors and people in town are scared and shrinking and hiding at home in the closet, you're storming the beaches and taking this thing full on, and it really, it's yours for the taking. So I'm so excited to have Billy on our team, to have him share what we've got coming at Mega Training. And when you register for Mega Training at megatraining2012.com or by the phone at 888-866-4998 for us to ship you out cash flow infusion as well as the 21-day promotion, and then have us walk you through exactly step by step how to implement it now and start getting results in your business. So go ahead and register, and we look forward to seeing everybody there. Billy, any kind of last words to wrap up today, or a highlight of more to come in October?
Yeah, Sean, I got to say, like, a lot of times we learn some things, and maybe right now you're like, that's not for me. Or maybe you're saying, I'm ready to do it. Whatever you do, just make sure you just don't sit back. And a lot of times we learn stuff, but we don't take action. And I know you get frustrated, Sean, when someone buys a product and they don't do anything with it. I know you guys have that's why you have coaching. You could probably make a lot more money just selling product like a lot of people do. But what you guys do with the coaching and the support is really like what we do as personal trainers. And so whatever you do, whether you need to get a coach or you need to go to a live event, like going to a live event for me is like accelerating the process. But whatever it is, take some sort of action within the next 20 minutes. Whatever it is, writing something down, whatever it is, take action, because that's the key to success. It's not sitting back and talking about it, it's living it.
Yeah, well said. Amen to that, brother. So, hey, I'm so excited for what we've got coming up. And those of you who go ahead and register for Mega Training, you're going to save with the best discounts that expire again Monday. Get shipped the product and go right to work. So we look forward to those of you who will be attending the event and working within the next couple months ahead. Billy, thanks again for your time today. We've gotten some comments here on the webinar. Folks are saying this is freaking awesome. They love it. They're pumped up. So I know they're going to enjoy what's coming in October. We're very excited to share that with everybody. So thanks, everybody, for your time today. Have a great day. Bye-bye.